Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Pittman. I'm an exercise physiologist, and I'm here today to talk to you about thyroid health. So thyroid health is very important. Our thyroid regulates a lot of systems in our body, and it may be the reason why you're not losing weight or you reached a plateau in your fitness or in your health journey, okay? So we wanna look at the thyroid numbers. The TSH level is very important. So when you go to the doctor, you can ask them for a blood test for your thyroid, TSH, T3, and T4. So those numbers, we want to look at those. So how does the thyroid function? So we have the hypothalamus, we have the pituitary gland, and we have the thyroid itself. Okay, it's part of a larger system called the endocrine system that regulates and releases hormones throughout our body. Okay, so our hypothalamus is going to release thyroid releasing hormone, and it's going to signal to the pituitary gland. The thyroid stimulating hormone is going to come from there, pass the signal on to the thyroid to regulate our hormones, producing the T3, T4. T4 is converted into the T3, and then the thyroid also produces other hormones, including calcitronin, which regulates calcium in the bloodstream as well. So the thyroid is very important for many reasons, okay? So we want to make sure that we're getting our thyroid tested when we go to the doctor. All right, I also want to say that I am not a doctor. This is an anecdotal story, or an anecdotal story about me. So basically, I, about 7 years ago, went to the doctor for a routine blood checkup, and the doctor told me that my thyroid numbers were a little bit high. So they were about 5.8 to 5.9, something like that at the time. The regular range is going to be somewhere between 1.5 and 4.5. You can look it up, okay? So it was a little bit high, borderline high. So she told me, come back in a month. If it hasn't gone down, then we're going to put you on the medication. So of course I went home. She knew I was into health, so she gave me that responsibility, and I was in school for all that at the time. And I got my numbers down. So I went back. She said, congratulations. I got to around a 1.8, something like that. So knock on wood, it stays that way. It's been good ever since, and that was 7 years ago. All right, so what did I do for hypothyroidism? So I basically just did my research. I started consuming iodine, so I would have seaweed every single day. I would put it in my smoothies. I was eating a lot of soy at the time, so I took soy out of my diet. I stopped eating tofu, as a vegan. It feels like everything has soy. Now it's wheat gluten, and like the Beyond Meat burgers and things like that. But so I stopped eating tofu. And I really love tofu, but I knew that it was bad for me, and so I stopped eating it. I started having selenium, so I would eat, and I still eat 1 to 2 Brazil nuts every day. Selenium is really great for regulating the thyroid in general, whether you're hyper or hypo, okay? And I just, started getting myself good rest, and just focusing on my health more in general, okay? So even though people say they're vegan, doesn't necessarily mean that they're healthy. So I was not really focusing on my health as much as just not eating the meat. So I am vegan. I do not eat meat. I do not have dairy. I don't have soy. But I don't have any animal products, all right? So I actually do have fish on occasion, and that is because things from the ocean, fish, and things like that, they do have iodine in them. So I've noticed for me personally, since I've incorporated that into my diet, I've felt a lot better. So I always say there's no one size fits all for health. You have to see how you feel, what your blood work says, and then you choose according to that what you're going to choose for your health, okay? Whether what you're going to eat or whatnot. So I do encourage you, if you're going to eat meat, try to choose organic, and also try to get grass-fed, grass-finished. Try to, reduce the amount of beef you're eating. But, again, I'm not recommending that you eat meat, but just do it a little bit smarter. Don't have it at every meal, and just try to reduce the amount of meat you're eating in general. Another thing for thyroid, you want to avoid any of the common allergens. So just see how you feel, do little tests. So soy was one of them, wheat, gluten, also eggs, nuts for some people. All right, so those common allergens, and then dairy, of course, as well. You want to try to eliminate or avoid, and then just see how you do with that, okay? So we talked about the thyroid and how it functions. So if you have a high TSH, that means that your pituitary gland is trying to stimulate your thyroid to do its function, and it's not responding, or it's sluggish, right? Basically, a hypothyroid issue is a sluggish thyroid. So you have a lot of extra TSH in your body floating around. And then inversely, if you have a hyper, or you're more prone to hyperthyroidism, you're gonna have a very low TSH level, and that is because your thyroid is sucking up all the thyroid stimulating hormone coming from the pituitary gland, that it is just, you know, it's overactive, you know, so we need to balance it. So having a balanced thyroid is very, very important. So as I mentioned, you can have the selenium, Gaia, the brand Gaia, it's Gaia. I'll link it below. They have a really great supplement that I took during the issue that I was having. It's a thyroid supplement. I think it's called Thyroid Health. You can look that up as well. And that really helped me. You can add herbs to your smoothies. You can add cilantro and parsley and things that are going to be detoxifying to the body. You can add turmeric to your soups and onto your food, maybe with a little black pepper. So we want to decrease the inflammation that we have in our body as well. You can also get, excuse me, blood work to check your inflammatory markers in your body as well. You can talk to your doctor about that too. Okay, so some other very important functions that are got it. Okay, some other important functions that our thyroid has is our cardiac output, so how our blood flows throughout our body, and then also heart rate, you know, our digestion, our metabolism, our body temperature, our mental activity, and you know, this goes into just, you know, depression, anxiety, dysphoria. Some people are experiencing heavy dysphoria, and it could be because of thyroid imbalance or just imbalance in the hormones or in the body in general. So the thyroid affects the nervous system. There's just so many things that come into play, okay? So getting that blood work done is going to be pivotal, okay? So seaweed or iodine is very important for people that deal with hypothyroidism. If you're more hyper, you probably should avoid iodine, okay? Cruciferous vegetables are good for people with hyperthyroid, but not for hypo, okay? You can look these things up online. There's a lot of diets out there that can help you or guide you along depending on what your individual need is, okay? So again, you know, the selenium is going to be really important. And I don't really recommend you taking supplements. The Gaia brand, I just like them in general. They have a lot of really good supplements for the adrenals, for the thyroid. But you know, in general, like for the selenium, you want to be eating the Brazil nuts if possible. And that doesn't mean that you need to be over consuming Brazil nuts. Okay, you don't have to have like the whole bag or something just because they're healthy for you. Okay, we want to have everything in balance. So 1 to 2 a day, and that's kind of like your selenium pill. You can have that with a handful of goji berries, maybe a date, okay? And just have that as part of your routine. And then, you know, try to go more plant-based, try to eat more plants, avoid soy in general, and, you know, just see if that does anything for you. The thyroid, you know, is located here, as we know. And if it becomes inflamed or you can kind of see it in your neck, obviously you want to go get that checked as well. So paying attention to our body as a whole, how every system connects is very important. We want to be mindful of how we're feeling. You know, if you're getting dizzy often, if you're getting anxiety, if you're depressed, if you're not able to regulate your body temperature well, if you're obviously not losing weight even though you're eating healthy and exercising, the thyroid may be to blame, maybe not, but don't stop taking your medication. You want to always keep your doctor in the loop, and if your doctor doesn't seem to really care about what you're saying or doesn't know the right information for you, maybe you want to find another doctor. It doesn't have to be a holistic doctor, because we can really look up anything online now, but someone that is with you in your journey and is willing to, you know, support you in what you want to do for your health, okay? Yeah, it should be positive. It should be things that are, you know, not taking from you and not damaging you, your natural self, but that is enhancing you in a way that is, you know, not providing pain or suffering. Okay, I hope you understand my heart on that. All right, so look into your thyroid health, look into your inflammatory markers, and, you know, just focus on the things that I said. Be positive. We're all dealing with something in life, and more often than not, the thyroid can be easily treated. There are more intense disorders like Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, and those tap into the immune system a little bit more. Okay, but you know, some of the stuff is hereditary, but what does that really mean? I mean, I think it has to do with the balance in our system, right? So, you know, I really think that what we're watching, what we're, you know, listening to, music, entertainment, people that we're around, the internal stress levels that we experience, sometimes we don't always realize it. They can be contributing to our health and how our body functions as a whole. So it's not just what we're eating, although, you know, our mouth is a gateway to, you know, our digestive system and, you know, all the processes in our body. So it's very important that we're feeding ourselves good fuel. You know, it's premium fuel. It's not going to be garbage. You don't want to do that, right? And if you are, then make sure you're eating more good than bad, like I like to talk about, okay? So listen to your body. No one can tell you what's healthy for you. So if you need to eat meat, hey, that's up to you. That's your decision. And just be encouraged today because you're loved, you are cared about, and you can make any change in your life at any point in time. So you can change your friends. Hopefully you have good friends. You can change the things you're listening to, watching, and just get back into harmony, okay? So that every cell in your body is happy and well, and I wish that for you today and every day for the rest of your life. And if you like, please like, you can comment and subscribe to know when my videos come out, and please share this with your friends that you think, or family that you think would benefit from this information. And again, I am not a doctor. I am an exercise physiologist here to give you information, hopefully to enlighten you and to guide you on your pathway to health. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.